As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, Crystal, this is Happy Small Business and Minority Month, right?
Right, exactly.
We've been waiting for this.
I know, huh?
Well, we've been waiting
month,
for this.
Again, as with every single month,
Yes.
it should be every single month.
It should be every month. So we're going to make it that way.
We're going to get there one day. We're going to get there one day. We were gone. We weren't here last week because of Easter week, and the studio was closed. And I hope everyone had a wonderful and a happy Easter and spent incredible time with their families. And
sounds good to me.
Getting ready for the spring.
That's right.
Yeah, I got. Let's see what we got going. I got Mount Sac getting ready to start up again on April.
Very good. When is that going to be? The 9th, right?
That's the 9th through the 25th, and then it's going to overlap a little bit, so I had to have a sub in between my nifty entrepreneurial camp for the kids. That starts June 13th. Yeah. We're doing 3 weeks of that. Then I leave and go to Baltimore for the Power Network.
Oh, wow.
And then when I come back the next day, I start the next set of the nifty camp.
Oh, my. So you got a full schedule.
I have a full schedule between now and September, I guess.
Wow!
And then we start the Edge workshops with Edison in August, and September.
I hear you.
So almost the year is almost gone. I got a birthday in between that, so all pretty cool. And let's see. Charles Brister says, "Hi, Crystal. Muhammad Nazruddin called April Black Business Month," and you're exactly right.
That's right, man. Yeah. Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you. Giving us a heads up on that.
So what actually Muhammad did, since he brought that up, was in April, he, and I want to say, Charles, you can correct me, but I want to say it was in the 80s, it was Change Bank Day. So in April, he changed, and they brought over about $4 million to Broadway Federal Bank, which is the black bank in the community. And then at that time, it became Black Business Month.
That's beautiful.
So that was what was behind the power of that. And it's interesting because this, it seems when the month comes up, some interesting studies come up. And so I saw some studies, and we'll talk about that in a minute, on the problem with supporting black-owned business and how we fix it, but also what is out there and where our young people are directing their attention to when it comes to supporting businesses. And I had some conversation with someone recently, and November is Women's Conference with the Bella Network, for sure. And also this month is Financial Literacy Month.
Very good.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the best we can to get that information out there to the small biz pros that we call them, small biz pros.
Right. So. And it's exciting because I got some great guests. We're doing both this month. I got a young fashion designer who's conscious, who's got a conscious, and she proceeds go back to a nonprofit for abused women.
Great.
And then we have a commercial lender. That's the financial literacy.
That's what we're talking
doing
about.
Our part, right?
We're on point. We're on point for that.
So we're going to do our part, and that's what it is, bringing that information to our community, so we make better decisions.
Now, for all of our listeners who are just tuning in, just remember our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. Give us a call if you got some feedback, you got some information you want to add to our discussion here, or if you want to speak to our special guest in the studio today, that would be a great time for you to give us a call. If you have any questions about certain things that can help to grow your business, we really want you to call. Now, I got a call, Crystal, from Vegas a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. So
They seem as if they want me.
okay. So when do you get started?
It seemed like April 19th.
Ah, okay.
So that's about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
right?
about 2 weeks.
So now I got to think about getting my ticket and all that good stuff. See, I
Okay.
wanted to buy it in advance. I can get it for like $6 to $9.
Right,
But they
exactly.
waited until today.
Yeah, so it ain't gonna be $69.
Yeah, it won't be that. It's going to be,
So,
somewhere 200 to 300.
so that's the 12-week program.
No, it's an 8-week program.
Okay.
So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm trying to reach out to the Latino chamber down there and the Black chamber as well, see if we can get some greater participation.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be good.
Well, cool. And that's
gonna
on
be good.
Thursdays?
Thursdays, yes,
Okay.
starting April 17th. So we'll see how that works out.
Okay, we'll have to coordinate our schedules.
Gonna have to coordinate.
Yeah. Actually, it looks like we're going to have to push back our certification classes past the summer and pick
Yeah.
it back up,
Yeah.
in which is fine. We
Yeah.
can pick it back up in September.
Right.
And hopefully by that time we've done. We'll use the four now, right? Mm-hmm. We have 4 people that actually got their certifications out of our class.
Yes.
And
yes.
yesterday, Jennifer Wilson, she was in our class last month, and she got both her state and now her city, and she is so excited.
Excellent.
And so, as she says, so now how do I read the RFPs?
Well, that's why we're going to have a class, online class. Crystal and I will have a class with all of you guys so you can learn how to research, how to find those RFPs, and also how to package and submit your applications or your proposals. So we will definitely take care of that for you. We're very happy that you guys followed our instructions and you're now certified as a woman-owned or a small business or a local small business. So that's very good news.
Right, exactly. So, and we're talking about, because obviously you can see our schedules are kind of busy. So Gilbert and I are looking at putting on some online classes, webinars, so that we can reach more people. You don't have to leave the comfort of your home
Or your office.
or your office or wherever you are, and then get what you need in order to run your business, because we got to step it up.
Exactly.
And so we love what we do.
Oh, yes.
And we love sharing what we do.
Yep. We want to make sure you're on top of your game and also on top of your competitors. And that's why we're providing you with these types of information that's really unique that your competitors really don't have. So keep tuning into our program and stay in touch with what we have to offer through these classes or online.
Exactly. So should we talk about our sponsors?
Oh, yes. So you want to tell them a little bit about our primary sponsor, Crystal?
Department of General Services with the state of California, and that is the entity that provides diversity supplier procurement opportunities for you to do contract business with the state of California. Of course, you need to come into our class if you're not certified, and if you are certified, then you still need to reach out to us. We're going to have some great things that are going on, and Gilbert and I both understand that the importance of doing contract business versus transactional business is definitely a game changer in your business. So we're thankful and appreciate the Department of General Services for supporting the Business Zone.
Exactly. And also what the Department of General Services is expecting or want you to do is to become certified in their database system, become a certified small business or a veteran-owned business. If you don't know how to do it, that's okay. Give us a call. We'll walk you through the process, or you come to our workshops. We'll go through that, hold your hand step by step and get you through the process. But the Department of General Services, they're looking to increase their number of certified small business and veteran-owned businesses, as well as tapping you into their contract opportunities so you guys can have contracts.
Right. So I'm excited. So here's the thing. Since Black Panther is the #1 movie of all time, they reached over $1 billion in sales.
That's beautiful.
And I read yesterday that they're going to be the first movie that is going to be shown in the Middle East in 25 years.
That's amazing.
So that's pretty awesome, right?
That's an amazing milestone.
That's an amazing milestone. So while we have this movement and momentum going, that means we as Black people need to get some stuff together, right? So, of course, I'm always researching. So I found some information from blackdemographics.com. So if you guys want to know what's going on in our community and how we shop, there are a number of entities. The Nelson Group, they do a major report every year, but this one is blackdemographics.com. And here's an interesting fact. Black-owned businesses in the United States increased 34.5% between 2007 and 2012, totaling 2.6 million Black firms.
Wow. 2.6.
2.6 million.
You know, there are 6 million small businesses in the state of California. So if we're 2.6, then we're stepping up our numbers.
We're stepping up our numbers. Yeah. But more than and this is where we have to make some changes. More than 95% of those businesses are mostly sole proprietorship or partnerships will have no paid employees. So that's what we need to do, is to move us up the scale so we can increase our revenue, so we can support hiring our own and from our own community. It's very, very important that we do that. Right. Because every other community takes care of their own, and we need to take care of our own.
Got to do the same.
And we have to rise our businesses up to the level that we're all comfortable with spending our money there, right?
And Crystal, you might want to tell them again about how long the Black dollars stay in the community, because I think people need to hear this. So you know the rule of marketing, right? If you hear it up to 7 times, then chances are it will start paying attention to it. But if you just hear it once or twice, then you won't pay attention. So maybe you might want to tell them again.
Okay, so before I do that part, so that we'll be on the right train, right? The consumer commitment and investment needs need to be met with equal wholeheartedness by our business owner, even in the event that financial or other difficulties make it hard. In a global economic system, every Black dollar is important. So with that being said, our Black dollar stays in our community for a long period of time of 6 hours.
A measly 6 hours.
Measly 6 hours. So if it's so important, why is it not coming back into our community to support our own businesses?
That's what I'm talking about.
So it makes it hard. We have people that been renting space or renting businesses for the building for 20, 30 years. Yeah. That should not be happening. Somewhere along the line, in fact, yesterday I met with Roz. Remember Roz Jackson that came to and so we were meeting, we're talking about some stuff. But we were, and out of the 1,200 businesses, now she actually have interviewed over 1,200 businesses, majority of them did not own their own businesses.
I'm telling you.
So, but she was saying, why is that? And it's really because they don't know. We make the assumption that they should know because they're in business. Yeah. But as those of us that are consulting and counseling and doing what we do, we know that if you're running a mom and pop business and you are not researching, you're not reading trends, you're not staying on top of what's going on. And right now, the government and everything is so chaotic, most people are just shutting down. Wow. And so, but you and I, that's what we do for a living, right? Because in order to do our workshops, we have to know what's going on so that we can stay relevant and stay current with our information. But most of these small businesses no one's ever came to them and said, hey, did you know that if I put you on this plan and you've been in this, let's say you got a 5-year, 10-year lease. So let's say for that 10-year lease, we work out a plan, a financial plan, strategy, that at the end of that 10-year lease, you can then buy this building or another building. So that means we need to be putting money to the side, taking percentages off of your profits, and growing your revenue so that you can now go to your landlord and say, because 10 years a landlord might be ready to sell, right?
That's true.
And you can say, look, I want first option. Yeah. And I got a down payment. I got whatever you need. Right. I'm already here. I'm established. It's a good building, and I want to stay here.
We also need to help small businesses firm up their credit. because they think that if they operate transactionally, they do one business at a time, then that's the way to go. They don't have that long-term plan. They don't have that 5-year, the 10-year plan. And that's why they're not thinking of one owning their own business building so that they can control the revenues coming in. They don't have to be paying rent to somebody else.
Right.
And also when they do that, it controls how they locate. Because when you're paying rent to someone, if you do some tenant improvement, then all that tenant improvement go to that landlord.
Right, exactly. And they're proud of that.
And then he wants to kick you out of there.
Right.
So within a year or so, he's kicking you out with all that great tenant improvement that you just did, and you're not getting that money back.
No, you're not.
Now you got to go find somewhere else, and now you got to reach your customers all over again. They have to relocate and follow you, and it's just ridiculous.
But again, part of that strategy, right,
Yeah.
is if I'm just starting my business and I need to work on my credit, it's not going to take you 10 years to fix your credit, right? So if I'm conscious of that, right, every dollar I'm spending, making sure my vendors are taken care of, making sure my Dun & Brad, I have a Dun & Bradstreet. Right. Now I'm monitoring. So over that 10-year period, and I'm putting money away. Right. So at that end, I'm ready in 10 years for whatever it is, whether it's that business or it's time to have relocated to another business, right?
That's true. And that's how they need to think. They need to think globally.
Right.
They need small to think businesses, bigger. You need to think globally. Right,
exactly. I just need to let LaRon know our other guest is here. Thank you. Right. They need to be, but that starts at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. When I open up my business, I should be thinking, wow, let's see, I'm going to open up a cleaners. What would it be like to have multiple locations, and what if I franchise those locations? But I'm not going to be thinking that, so that means I have to have a consultant and a mentor that's guiding me along the way to have these conversations so we can better prepare and be ready and have a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan and an exit strategy.
Exactly.
If I have a legacy business, am I prepping and developing someone to take over my business? If I know my children are not going to take over my business, I need to be honest with myself and go find someone coming out of school or one of my workers that have been there and I've been committed to it, and start developing and bringing them up, letting them be manager, and then eventually teaching them what you know so that your business, all that work you didn't put into your business, is not in vain.
That's true.
And at the end of the 20 years, you close the doors, or the 30 years, you close the doors, and that's it. It's done. It's just another business.
That's going to be part of their succession plans as well, because many businesses, they don't understand that when you build that business plan, a big part of your business plan is a succession planning. So you also got to look forward to the next step, the next phase. You may not want to sell the business. You may not want to pass it down to anyone, but you got to be ready. You got to be ready just in case. You never know. One of the big dogs in the marketplace may come in and say, hey, I want to buy your business for $20 million. Now, if you already got your valuation ready and you know that based on your valuation, you fall within that framework, and that's going to be a great profit for you, then you can say, let's sign the deal.
But you got to know what the valuation is, right? So that means you got to reach out to someone in the financial field that understands that and have them come in and start to advise you. So that's the things that we want to, this is one of the reasons that the Business Zone is here, is to let you know what your options are. There are always options.
That's right.
And we need to start taking advantage of those options in order to grow bigger and better businesses that we can hire our own.
And the key thing about this program is we don't know everything. We know quite a bit of something, but we don't know everything. And that's why we bring great guests like our next guest who is going to be on the show today, and also other individuals.
Yeah, we got to, I'm trying to pack the house. I'm trying to get in a couple of councilmen and someone from the minority business from the city hall. And so
someone from the cannabis industry.
So we've had some great, and we're going to have some even better guests that will bring and share the information that they have.
So we want to bring someone from each and every industry or every part of the category in order to build that demographic. So everyone can be represented here at this table. And that's really what we're trying to do.
And giving us a conversation to do that.
Yeah.
We have someone that's on my Facebook Live. Her name is Mo Light, and she says, "Thank you, Crystal and Gilbert. A very necessary program. We really need to be connected."
Thank you. And thank you for listening and tuning in as well. And we really would like you to continue to listen and tuning in. And if you have any questions, give us a call. Our phone number here is 323-293-3375. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. And our guests would also love to hear from you, too, if you have any questions about your business.
Right, yeah, he's coming in. And so if any of our business owners out there are looking and thinking about buying their business, he'll be able to help them out.
That's right.
He's a commercial lender. So
he's a commercial lender, and he also talks about factoring as well. And he's a good kind of factoring guy. So we just want to let you know that he'll show you the ropes. He'll teach you step by step how to do this and how to make it worth your while as a business owner.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm excited about that. And then our other guest, and she is calling in trying to get to me, and I can't reach her right at the moment. So maybe we'll take a break. So she's probably trying to figure out how to get into the studio.
Okay.
And then we'll be ready to roll.
So we'll go ahead and take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a break.
We'll take a break. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make it.
Stand by. So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. Give us a call. If you got a question, you got some feedback, anything you want to share with us as a small business, give us a call here. We are your resident consultant.
There you go. And you can call in and ask, and we won't charge you.
We won't charge you. That's it. This is complimentary.
Yeah, complimentary.
So Crystal, we're coming up to that time, tax time, right?
Yeah, tax time is here. Wow.
I wonder if many of our small businesses are ready for that time.
Well, they have no choice, because Uncle Sam is going to take it one way or the other.
But the thing about it is, if they're not ready, one of the things that could happen is that you may end up paying a hefty late fee. And take it from me. One thing I want you guys to know, okay? All of the things, or most of the things that I'm telling you on this show or in my workshops or anything I present to you as a consultant is because it happened to me. Okay? It happened to me. So I missed my deadline, and the IRS, they charged me about $700 for late fees.
Oh, they ain't playing.
$700. I'm going, wait a second. It's just a few days. $700 for a few days.
They don't play.
So I want you to know that small businesses. So if you don't want to pay that, I'd rather you give me and Crystal that $700.
Or at least they should communicate with them. They're good when you communicate with them. But when they got to feel like they got to come after you, then they get a little irritable.
Mm-hmm.
It's but people they're going to do what they're going to do. And generally that's when I get called in, is because by that time the IRS is hot on their trail.
So you're the fixer.
I'm the fixer. My business has turned from being a general bookkeeper to the fixer.
The fixer.
So I come in and I fix, which is good. I mean, I actually kind of like it. It's like forensics.
There's a need.
There's a need. So it's a little bit more in-depth than just going in and just doing regular old boring books.
That's
so
right.
you get to go in and fix and see what was the problem.
So, Crystal, for some of our listeners who are just tuning in who don't really know what you do, you might want to tell them a little bit about what Crystal Mitchell does.
Well, I do a whole lot. My focus is on accounting and bookkeeping and finances of a business and business literacy. I'm also a business coach. I teach classes on how to build, develop, and write your business plan and write businesses that have a broad vision, not a very narrow vision. Mm-hmm. I also teach an entrepreneurial program to young adults, or young kids from the ages of, from 9 to 18. What else do I do? I'm the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, and that's an organization that's been in the community for the last 30 years. And we are here as, I call it our consciousness, our Black consciousness, understanding who we are and why it's important to support our own dollars and support our own communities, which then benefit our kids and our elderly citizens. And what else to do? Wow. Co-host for the radio show. Producer for the radio show.
And you're the forensics accountant.
And the forensics cook. So I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats, and it's all about building a successful community.
And I'm telling you guys, I've been working with Crystal for quite a few years right now, and I'm telling you, she is darn good at what she does, okay? I'm not just tooting her horn because she's my friend or she's one of my subcontractors, but she's darn good. If you guys want to get things done the right way, you want to reach out to her. And what's your number and your contact information,
My contact
Crystal?
information is 323-447-7272. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find Recycling Black Dollars on Facebook, LinkedIn. Also, go to Recycling Black Dollars' new website that I just published. We just update it.
That's
it's
right.
at rbdmedia.net. That's www.rbdmedia.net. Let me know what you think about it. But we just moved it. We just stepped it up, and so now you can see it on your cell phone as well as on the desktop.
I like that.
So we're pleased with that. And RBD, we have a breakfast mixer that's taking place on Tuesday. So it's at 8 o'clock. Denny's on Crenshaw and Coliseum, and there we network. We have a speaker. We support the black business because Denny is a black business owner, owned by Ron Smothers, who's a black business owner and been in the franchise business. Oh, wow. Ron's been in the franchise business for over 30, 40 years.
Wow, that's
so
amazing.
He's had Burger Kings. He had some other burger places. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So we got to support and keep that money in the community.
That's why we are in the community.
That's right.
We moved our business and our events back to our community, and we're no longer spending our money because we got to walk the walk, right?
That's
so
right.
We're no longer spending our dollars at non-Black establishments. We put our money in our state. Our money stays in the community.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, I'm sure you guys already know who I am, but for those of you who really don't know who I am, you go to Google and you type the small business paramedic. Guess whose picture you're going to see? You're going to see mine because I'm the small business paramedic. So you need any assistance in managing the business, setting up your business, setting up your infrastructure. You're looking to apply for a certification, minority certification, small business certification, veteran-owned, SBA 8A certification, any of those things. I could do those things with my eyes closed because I've been doing this since I won't even say, a little tot. So those are things that we
prodigy?
do. Yeah, exactly.
You're the prodigy. Yeah.
I'm the prodigy. And as a matter of fact, I don't just do certifications. I do successful packaging of certifications. That means when we do your certification, you will get approved. You will get certified. Our success rate is 96%. And the reason why it's only 96 and not 100% is because there is a small percentage of small businesses out there who they don't listen. They will not listen. They will never, ever listen. So the things you tell them, the guidance you give them, Crystal, they won't pay attention. And because they don't pay attention, then they get refused or denied by the SBA or Metro or the city of Los Angeles, the county or whomever. So I just want you guys to know that we teach classes, Crystal and I. We've got our mastermind class that we teach every Thursday. Our next class is coming up this coming Thursday. And we get you business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. That's our job. Our job is to get you guys. We're an advocate for small business. The LA Business Journal voted me Small Business Advocate of the Year for 2016 for the Latino-owned businesses as well as other minority businesses. And that's a prestigious organization who they've done their homework. They don't just give people that award. They give it to you because they know you know what you're doing. So you guys are in very good hands with Crystal and I. And that's enough of tooting my own horn right now.
And Crystal? He's very good at what he does as well in his space. He is the king of the certification world. And that's very important because, again, that's a game changer in our community. But before we go to commercial, I am going to share with something. And this is a food for thought for all of us. And this is why it's so important that we go through all links to make sure we expand our horizons and the space that we operate in, right? That's right. So I saw on Facebook earlier today that there was a lady, she's a politician in Florida. Mm-hmm. And she was making a speech yesterday. Yeah. And she says, thank God that, how did she put it? Thank God that Black people were in slavery. And we're brought over here to America. Because if not, we may be worshiping a tree in Africa. So that is food for thought.
So did she back that up with some additional logic or what?
She just said that we would be in this undeveloped country hugging and worshiping a tree because America is great. And it civilized us.
I don't know about that.
And she's a minister. Yeah. That's why she was thanking God, thanking her blessings that we were kidnapped from a continent.
Well, I agree with that part that we got kidnapped.
No, she didn't say kidnapped. She said that we were brought over here.
Right.
So, of course, Facebook went wild.
Oh, right? Yeah.
So I had to go back and say, wow. So we should be brave, and so I put up a minor video of us being beaten. Yeah. So we should be thankful for this, right?
I know.
And all that other treatment.
Because I guess she probably hasn't seen the movie Black Panther because they're saying the opposite of that. Those individuals in that movie, they never came here. They were there they're still there in Africa, and they're fully developed.
Anybody, if you go look, all she had to, even if she didn't travel, but I would suggest, my suggestion to her was, 1, get out of Florida.
Right.
2, get a passport and go to Africa and see that in some cases. So I put up a picture of in Nigeria, the capital of Nigeria, and it looks like Florida. So it looks like Florida to me. I don't see any trees.
Exactly.
So what the heck? But that thought process is what's killing us, right? We have to get away from that thought process.
That's that arrested development.
That is some arrested development. That is some, I don't know, brainwashing. She must be like in a little bitty tiny county, probably in Florida, that have never seen anything outside of wherever she lives.
Yeah, God bless her soul.
And she probably doesn't have the internet, because all you had to do was Google and see nobody worshiping trees in Africa. They're probably in better shape than we are.
Unbelievable.
So that's food for thought today. So the moral to that is we need to expand our horizons. Yes. We need to read. We need to research. Yes. And we need to travel.
Yes. With that being said, we're going to have to bring up our next guest to shine some clarity to this whole thing.
All righty. So we are excited about our next guest. And so we're going to take a quick little break so we can make the change and bring him up to the
Sounds
dais.
Good to me. You're on the Business Zone.
With Crystal.
And Gilbert. Take a break.
Hello. Meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
So we're back on the Business Zone with Crystal
and Gilbert. He's being Crystal today.
And we've got our very, very, very special guest here in the studio. And Crystal, you want to tell us who is here today?
Yes, I am. I will. Ambrosia. Is that
Yeah, Ambrosia.
Ambrosio, and they call you Ambro.
Yes.
Blackwell is an experienced commercial lending consultant at Southern California Factors and soon to be the released author of a book, Small Business Loans Made Simple.
All right.
I like that on auto. Gilbert and I are working on that. He's been known for helping, educating, and supporting clients as they develop strategic plans for the growth of their receptive businesses for the future. Widely known for his accounting, marketing, and financial expertise, Ambro's passion for small business and real estate can be tracked back to his early days of high school and college, where he spent a significant time studying businesses and learning accounting. As a commercial lending consultant, he specializes in commercial lending, solving cash flow problems, and factoring solutions. So welcome to the Business Zone. We're so happy to have you. Isn't it ironic? This is a conversation we had last night in our class. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was about, I taught on cash flow management last night.
Absolutely.
So welcome.
Welcome to the Business Zone.
Yeah. So you've been in the business for 15 years. You have your MBA in finance and marketing.
Absolutely.
And so tell us all about you.
Well, I fell in love with accounting from high school. I was a jock in high school that loved accounting, so I was a little bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
That was like an oxymoron right there. Because jocks, they don't really care about accounting, right?
Exactly. And then I went into college, ran track at the UC Riverside.
Okay.
And again, I tried to go away from accounting, but it came right back to me.
Yeah, you can't get away from accounting.
So, I just pretty much leveraged the relationships with everyone I studied with in school and started figuring out ways to help small businesses. And I started in the residential space and kind of carved a niche, working with small business owners, people that wanted to buy property. So I helped them tap into the equity of their homes. And then it kind of just took off from there. And then after spending quite a few years in the business in that side of the industry, I went back to school, got my MBA in finance and marketing, and just continued to grow from there. And, I'm passionate about businesses. I'm passionate about helping our people. And I love seeing what makes businesses thrive. And I love competition, so I like helping businesses compete.
Okay.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
you brought your sports with you, didn't you?
I did.
The competition.
March Madness just ended, so we got to keep it going.
Did your team win?
Yes.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Villanova?
I wanted Villanova to
All
win.
right, that's good, man. Now, I remember we met, I'm trying to remember how many years ago. We met over at USC.
Absolutely.
You remember when the mayor's office and a few other entities had this little get-together?
Absolutely.
And we have all these resources provided. That's where I met you. Which bank were you working for at that time?
Us bankers, we...
Yeah, I know. I don't remember, but it was a great meeting.
Yeah.
When I first met you, you had that contagious thing about you that really made someone want to walk up and talk to you.
Absolutely.
And again, you just look like somebody everybody knows. So that's probably, that was a good thing. That was a good thing.
Absolutely.
So when Gilbert and I were doing our dialogue, and I was talking about business owners not understanding that they could buy their business, have you encountered that?
Oh, all the time. And it's businesses, it's nonprofits. There's this mindset that they don't think about that ownership is possible. And companies I've seen in business 30 years running. And then, you think about it, they could own the building.
Yeah.
And you talk about cash flow now.
Right.
Yeah, and so and it became very prevalent here on Crenshaw when they started to build the train.
Absolutely.
That a lot of those businesses had been there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and it never crossed their mind
Absolutely.
that at some point in that time frame they could have actually, that's like 4 decades, right?
Absolutely.
They could have actually gone over and said, "Hey, I want to buy this building. So what do I need to do?"
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do we need to do to better prepare our business owners, especially our business owners starting out, that's a possibility down the line?
Well, the first thing, you always have to start with the end in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
That, you start with the end in mind, and then you can start connecting the dots to get there.
That's succession
And
plan.
so, as he mentioned earlier, the succession planning, because a lot of businesses, they fold and they don't think about the sweat equity they put into it.
Yeah.
You've worked hard. It's hard. It's hard being an entrepreneur. You're out here and you're going against the grain.
Oh, yeah.
System is set up for you to go work for someone, even if you go to college.
Like I tell the participants in my workshop all the time, I said, listen, as an entrepreneur, you're going to hear no all the time. Contract providers are going to tell you no. Your customers are going to tell you no. Your competition will tell you no.
Absolutely.
All the people you're trying to obtain resources from will tell you no. Even your family members will tell you no. So you got to be prepared for that and get yourself ready for that yes. So you create your own yes.
Definitely.
That's what this is all about right here. This what Crystal mentioned about obtaining a location or a building for yourself.
Definitely.
So you don't have to pay rent or lease to someone else. That money will go into your own investment.
Absolutely.
Which is interesting, and I think this is more prevalent in our communities, is the whole concept of being told no is like life shattering, right? But there were so many. Walt Disney was told he wasn't creative enough to actually build and create Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
And look at Disneyland today. The guy that wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, he said he was told no 187 times, and then on the 188th time, he was told yes.
Absolutely.
But he just kept going because it was his passion and it was desire, and he knew in his heart. So we have to work. Our people have to get to a place where no is not the end of the world.
No,
Absolutely.
part of the DNA.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's part of the process.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's totally part of the process, but no helps you refine what you're doing.
That's right.
And come back with a plan.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Come back with a plan.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it will require, but I do know that one of the things that we need to start doing is working more, not in silos, but we need to work together, collaborative. Because if that person cycles through 12 people telling the exact same thing, then they're like, okay, maybe I can do this, right? As opposed to one person telling you, because you're right, your family would be the last person. Because I teach, I teach what I teach. But it wasn't until my brother-in-law did this. I teach business development training and business plan writing, right? And so he had a product. He went to a class that the Urban League gave. I didn't teach the class and came back and was telling me the same thing that I had been telling him.
That's how
wow. Okay, well, as long as you got it.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it is with family. They won't come to you. That's their way of telling you no.
Or they'll say, I didn't know you did that.
Exactly.
Right?
We'll just say that they needed to hear it 7 times.
Yeah, 7 times.
7 times.
7 times.
Before they believe, you've been telling me that, right?
Maybe I should listen. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man.
So do you have outreach programs? Because you said you like working with your community. How do you get your information out there to the general population?
Well, a lot of it's participation.
Okay.
Yeah, participating with groups, whether it's Southern California Edison, people like those, they have a lot of outreach like yourselves. It's collaborative. I mean, we really need to bond and build together so we can actually reach more.
Right, exactly.
Right. Now, the type, your target demographic, is it startup business, emerging business, or businesses over 7 years?
Well, what's unique is I work with a multitude of lenders.
Yeah.
And so each of them have different niches. A lot of times people think that, I'm starting out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's you do. You have value, though.
Yeah.
And if you have invoices, that's an asset.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to, like you said earlier, business owners have to start looking at their business differently. And then it's about telling the story.
Right.
So some will start with startups.
Yeah.
So across the board, ideally, depending on where you're at in your business, that's going to dictate, and then also knowing where you want to be in the end.
Right.
That's going to help us shape and put the story together for you.
Yes. I get that. So now, for the audience who are listening right now, tell them a little bit about the factoring business, what it's all about, and why should they participate in that program?
Oh, I mean, there's a number of reasons why. Well, for one, there's like I said, when you think about the cycle of a business, and in particular, we're talking about a non-cash based business in this particular aspect.
Right.
So you worked hard. And we've talked about RFPs and all these other, acronyms. And now you have a business that wants to do business with you.
Yeah.
But they're going to pay you on terms. Well, you've got the contract, but now you need capital.
Yeah.
And typically, I believe it's 40 to 60% if you want to grow. That's how much more capital you're going to need often.
Right.
So where are you going to go? Basic accounting says assets equal liabilities and equity.
That's right.
So you've got an asset in invoices. So what you do is basically you get that invoice, and then you come to someone like myself, and we'll help find a lender or a factor that will advance you the money on that invoice. It ranges depending on the industry. It could be anywhere from 60 to maybe even as much as 90%. You have that money right now.
Right.
Now you can go and start paying your people.
Right.
And we talked about having employees.
Right.
Most businesses don't think about scaling. Well, you're going to need people and you're going to need systems to be able to do so.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if they're a startup or not, as long as they have invoices and they've got people paying them, then they can use that as leverage to.
Yeah, typically within 90 days, outstanding, because anything over 90 days, most people don't think you're going to get paid.
Right.
Just think about people who owe you money.
Yeah.
If they haven't paid you in 90 days, you pretty much forgot about that money.
One of the phrases that I use in my class is, he who knows how to count his own money gets to keep it.
Right, exactly.
So if you know how to count that money, then you know, hey, I'm not waiting 90 days to be paid. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to get that money before that 90 days.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that's something you talk about in terms of managing cash.
Oh, yeah.
So the better you can manage that cash and get that cycle back in your business. Because we talk about how the money cycles. And the more it can cycle in your business, just like we want to cycle in our communities, the better.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yes.
So what makes you as because there's a lot of companies out there that factoring is not one of the areas that you advise your client.
Yeah.
So what makes you guys different from those individuals?
Well, what's great about Southern California Factors is that we can take you a paper or we can take you also factoring. And you don't have to go through the process of trying to send your information multiple times because you're busy running your business.
Yeah.
Right.
So you want to have someone you can trust that's looking out for your interest.
Okay.
And so you've got different, even within factors, even within banks.
Yeah.
Everyone has niches, areas that they want to participate in.
Right.
So that's where you come into play and reach out to someone like myself.
Very
Okay.
good.
And why is that important? Because there's certain industries that being able to have that opportunity or it can help their business greatly.
Absolutely. Well, there's several things. Now that you have capital advanced, you have it available, you may have suppliers, you may have vendors. Now you can go to them and say, hey, how about I pay you a little early, maybe get a discount. Now, there's different ways in which you can actually skin the cat and actually increase your profits and increase your bottom line.
Right.
So these are some of the things that happen and work for you. And then when you think about it, when you're bidding on projects, just factor in the cost. So there's a number of ways. This factoring is a tool to help you to grow.
Okay.
And then when you get to the point where you don't need a factor, it's going to be apparent. Or we're going to be able to take you to a traditional lender. And then you have someone like Gilbert and yourself that's actually taking you and holding you along the way, that's actually making sure you have the right guidance.
Right.
Exactly. And it's a team, right?
Yeah, it is.
I have a client right now that I'm sitting down with them, with his lenders and the SBA, so that we can get him ready for the refi.
Absolutely.
And so basically lenders telling me what the books need to look like and what they're looking for and what, eliminating one-time type payments that's never going to come back through, that doesn't really hit your cash flow ever again.
Absolutely.
But that's the information that most of our smaller businesses don't have privy to, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what you have to be thinking about, because they think so straightforward, right?
Yep.
It's about my FICO score. It's about them not working. And ultimately, they're going to tell me no anyway.
Yeah.
Because again, it's back to the no, right? I can't take the no, so I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah. And a lot of times we're going to hear more no's than you're going to hear yeses. Yeah. But you just need the right yeses.
Yeah.
There was a program a couple of years ago, Joe Razan.
Yeah.
This is his life before he became the president of Vermont Slauson.
Right.
But he was working for the city.
Absolutely.
And there was a program, a loan program, and I think they had some $3 billion in the program, right? And it was specifically there for if you had ever been denied by a bank,
Absolutely.
a loan, then to bring that denial letter, and then they would give you a loan.
Absolutely.
We could not find anybody. Why? Because they had thrown their denial letters away.
Oh, man.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, see, that takes awareness and education.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I think maybe because they didn't know a program like that existed, that's probably why they just go, oh, usual suspect. That's what I expected. That's my no right there. Let me move on to the next no.
Let me move on. And unfortunately, this type of program, so Joe had reached out to those of us, the community-based organization, to let our membership know, because this program was one that they couldn't advertise.
Yeah.
So it was like having a pocket listing, right? So they couldn't advertise it, but he had to reach out to us to go out to make sure that information was disseminated.
You know, that's something we can start talking about in our classes. You know, to educate and let the participants know that, hey, if you get a the denial letter, hold on to it. Don't throw it out. Hold on to it, because there might be a program out there that you can tap into.
And no doesn't necessarily mean no in this space.
Exactly.
It does mean no in other spaces, but in this means, okay, what do I need to do to get the yes?
Yeah, or it means that you're not ready yet. You know, do some other things to get ready.
Or to ask, why is the answer no?
And sometimes people don't know it, but that particular lender may not be comfortable. They may just not understand your industry.
Right.
So if you don't understand, you're typically going to say no.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they understanding and sitting down and look, why did you say no? So that at least if you have an answer and you know why, then you can come back with some sort of response.
Yeah. Absolutely. You can move the needle closer to the bullseye.
Yes. Yes.
Or it could have been a one-time thing.
Absolutely.
That was going to never ever happen again, or you've hired a mentor or a consultant and they're guiding you, whatever it is.
Right.
I know in accounting, I absolutely love it because numbers do not lie to you. And that's why I'm in this field. But I had a client, and it happened to be a religious group.
Okay.
And when I came in as a troubleshooter, and in that process of troubleshooting some other problems they had, I found that they had not paid any payroll taxes. And this had gone back to like 1992.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And I was in 2000, like 2003, 4. So, and the only reason IRS hadn't shut them down was because it was a church. So let's be honest. They're afraid that God was going to condemn them for life. So there is someone that the IRS is afraid of.
Everyone's thinking more than once about wanting to shut down the church.
All right. Ooh, no. Right. So there is someone that the IRS is afraid of.
Yeah.
But they were so forgiving.
Yeah.
And then when we went and explained and made some adjustments in the administration, and I increased we start paying the bills on time, so increased their Dun & Bradstreet ratings and everything. And then they came back, and we're not talking about a little bit of money, we're talking about a lot of money. Yeah. And so they reduced the penalties and interest, eliminated it.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Over a 3-year period after we made, we had to.
That's a big help right there.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Big help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we're talking over in the millions. Mm-hmm. And we dropped it down, and most of the 3/4 of that was penalty and interest.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's
they tack it on.
So what type of businesses do you provide factoring services to? It's going to be commercial, small business, nonprofits you don't do, right?
We actually can.
You can.
Yeah. Ultimately, again, it's about the asset and asset invoice in particular. So now we want our business owners, our nonprofits, we want them to have good credit ratings.
Right.
But I'm not advocating.
What's the minimum? What's the minimum score?
Well, number one, it's going to vary because some of them aren't as concerned about the score. They're more concerned about getting paid. You have to follow the cash.
Okay.
So the factor who's going to actually advance this money is more concerned about who it is that's paying you,
Right.
and what's the likelihood that they're going to be able to pay.
Right.
So if you have a company that is, whether it's the city or another establishment that is solid, they feel more confident.
So if you were in a nonprofit place and you had a grant that or some contribution that was coming in that was sizable, but you're waiting for the process,
correct,
then that would be something.
Well, yeah, again, the key thing is has it been awarded to you?
Right,
If it's been awarded to you, then they're going to go ahead and there's a due diligence that they're going to do. Part of that will be looking at your credit, looking at your Dun & Brad. And that's another big one that a lot of people don't think about is building a Dun & Brad.
Yeah.
There's so many programs that help business owners across the board, from factoring to other programs like the ones you talked about. And that's where, again, someone like yourselves is really, really helpful. So if they have these invoices, then they're really just selling that asset to someone else. And then that person is collecting. And when we talked about another benefit is you don't have to worry about trying to collect that money anymore because you have someone else that's collecting it. And you don't have to worry about them in most cases messing up your reputation because they've advanced you most of the money. So they don't want to go ahead and piss off your client that you're working with. So now you can, again, focus back on your business, focus on what makes you money.
Okay.
That's amazing.
That's good.
That's
and most of
amazing.
our businesses owners don't know anything about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you operate within a network, so you can reach out to different entities within that network and say, hey, got a small business here. This is their credit score. This is the assets. This is their liabilities. This is what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's very good to know.
Definitely.
I wanted to make that clear to our listeners so they understand that it's not just a one-source approach.
Absolutely.
It's a multifaceted approach.
Absolutely.
Where you're a network and you're looking at all these other entities, which
Yeah.
is great. It's better to have someone like you looking for funding for them than them trying to do it themselves.
Absolutely.
Now, do you run their credit report also?
At times I do.
So that means if you run the credit report, you only run it once. You don't need to run it for each one of those. See,
Absolutely.
that's an advantage.
Yeah, we don't want to keep running their credit.
That's an advantage right there. That's
Absolutely.
an advantage. Now, does your organization help to build the Dun & Bradstreet score?
No,
credit
that's
score?
where I partner with people like yourself right here.
Okay.
Again, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we want to help them succeed. So this is my area of specialty. And that's, a big area where I focus on. But I look at it as a dashboard. Again, if I have someone that's helping them with their credit, helping them with their Dun & Brad.
Right.
Now we're helping each other at the same time to help keeping this business going. And that's helping build their team because a lot of people don't think about that.
Do you find that businesses come to you and they're not organized, their record keeping is whack, they don't have any, they can't find their documents?
Of course he does. Everybody comes to him with everything in order.
Well, when they come from you, they're in order.
That's right.
They're in tip-top shape.
That's right. They're in tip-top shape. That's what we're about here. We take care of that for them.
But otherwise, I know the proverbial shoebox.
That's right. Well, we'll take care of that. They don't need to use those shoes boxes anymore. And also with what's going on with the fires and the floods and all of that,
Absolutely.
Our system gets all their documents in one central place. They don't have to worry about floods, earthquake, tornadoes, hurricane, or anything like that. So they can access their documents from anywhere in the world. Yep. And then having Crystal doing her forensics on their documentation, massaging those numbers and making sure they're right.
Yep.
So when they come to you, they're all ready to go.
Absolutely.
It's funny you said that because they were saying that some of the homeowners that were in Puerto Rico after the hurricane, that they hadn't been able to get any money for their properties or rearbursements or anything, insurance, because they had no more documentation. So maybe maybe Small Business Pro might be as great as well as a personal document keeper, right?
Absolutely.
Because that you have to show proof of something that you even live there, right? So being able to keep your insurance records, and even when you go to do your insurance, you have nothing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. You don't even have any ID.
Yep, definitely.
and it happens more often than we think about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
anytime there's a disaster, you know, my brother-in-law had an invention called the backpack, the OG backpack, and that was one of it was like an earthquake, it preparedness kit. But in that, as well as keeping copies of even if it's on a flash drive, of your important documentation and some cash, because if everything shuts down, you can't go to the ATM, you can't do any of that. So being able to operate for 3 to 5 days without access to anything that's digitally connected.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, we got to keep people informed. We got to keep them knowledgeable, aware, so that when they're ready and they need to make a move, they can just do that move just like that, instead of going, okay, now we're going to have to plan 6 to 12 months in order to get that factoring funds that we need, or that line of credit, or that financial support. They can just make a move there on the spot.
Now, is there a difference between, obviously there's a difference in commercial and personal lending. What would those differences be?
Well, commercial is going to be, for business purposes, and then personal is going to be for personal. And all lenders like to see that separation, because again, it goes back to management. Right. You can take that money and borrow it and lend it to yourself or to your company. Right. That's a management step. But using it and commingling, then it looks bad upon you, because it looks like you've got everything going in multiple different ways, haywire and all that other stuff.
Which it does, especially when a lot of our businesses are sole proprietors, right? So they don't understand that distinction between. They think one bank account is the same. So when you encounter that, what is your advice to them? Because we, of course, tell them all the time is the no co-mingling bad thing.
Well, yeah, definitely. You definitely want to have separations, in terms of how you handle your money. Ideally, you have to talk to your tax advisor, but you want to actually have as separate as possible, so it has its own identity, and be able to show that you're able to manage that business, manage the cash flow. That's what's going to show that the trust is there, that you know what you're doing.
Right. Okay.
That's
great.
because that's important. That and was another issue. It's a lot of times small business owners, when they're going for preparing for their taxes, it's about not paying Uncle Sam, right? Which means that we don't have enough money of reports that I can bring to you. Absolutely. Because I'm not showing any income.
And that's the thing. That's a big part of what, ideally third quarter of the year that I'm doing, is reaching out to clients and letting them know, when you go to your tax advisor, talk to them about getting a loan. Because a good tax advisor is going to know how to keep you as lendable as possible. Right.
It's like a coach. It's like going to a coach.
Absolutely.
So he's going to coach you and say, okay, we want to put you in third quarter. This is what we need from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's good. So, third quarter is about the time when you need to start really thinking about the end of the year.
And third quarter is depending on how you file your fiscal year.
Yeah.
Because some file fiscal year in September.
Right.
So you want to give yourself some time. You don't want to go into your accountant last minute.
Right.
Yeah, right. Really? Really now?
That's great. Now, for those of you who are listening, our audience, wonderful audience, or small biz pros that are listening out there, would you like to let them know how they can get a hold of you? First of all, we're talking to Mr. Ambrosia Blackwell, who is, are you the owner of?
Yes.
He is the owner and founder.
Yes.
Owner and founder of Southern California Factors, and it's an organization that helps small businesses with funding. So if you ever need help, any assistance in leveraging finances or cash or some kind of revenues for your business, you don't know where to go, you don't know how to do it, you can talk to Mr. Ambrosia Blackwell. And you want to share your number, your contact information?
Yeah, absolutely. The website is www.southerncaliforniafactors.com, and there's actually a free download that says when the banks say no, we say yes.
All right.
Gives a lot more detail.
Like that.
And the phone number is toll-free 800-778-9718.
I think I'm going to go and download that link that you're talking about as well. I want to check it out.
So, are you in Los Angeles or?
No, I'm in Inland Empire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I cover Southern California. Actually, clients nationwide.
Oh, okay. I'm the co-director of Recycle Black Dollars, and
Absolutely.
we have a breakfast mixer, and we'd love to have you come up to speak on this because
Absolutely.
a lot of our members and a lot of the individuals that come to our business, to our networking event, they're small businesses.
Absolutely.
And need money.
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'd love it. Yeah, I'd love it.
I also would like to go one step farther and have you include your link on our website so that we have it available. So when people go to our website, that link is there and they can click on it as well.
Absolutely.
We want to put a link that says, when the bank says no, we say yes.
And I
Just click on
actually
that
will
link.
do the same thing on Recycle
Yes.
Dollars. And
Yes.
that would be great, because
because
that does happen, and they're looking for money and they can't find money.
Absolutely.
And some of them do have pretty lucrative contracts.
Oh, yeah.
Delta could probably
get
down the line.
And if we're prepping them for him, that's just amazing.
Yeah, we'll all
Absolutely.
work
Yeah.
together.
Absolutely.
And actually, our next guest, she's in the fashion industry, and that's a big thing for them, being
yeah.
able
They're
to
gonna
have
need the
enough
funds.
money
Yep.
before fashion, before a show, or before
yeah.
fashion week.
Absolutely.
They always have problems
Absolutely.
finding money to get the material and get their line done
Definitely.
and made, and without any funds.
Definitely. Absolutely.
So is there anything that Crystal and I haven't asked you that you want to share with our audience out there? Regarding factoring, regarding business, some tips you might want to give them to kind of prep them, get them ready, or something to that effect?
Well, the biggest thing is make sure that, you don't just try to do this on your own. Mm-hmm. Because there's help out there,
Right.
and there's plenty of people that want to help you.
Right.
And, you guys are a great resource
Yes.
for putting them in the right direction.
Right.
For people like myself and others
Right.
that can help them along the way and actually help them get to their goal
Right.
a lot quicker.
It's kind of like an athlete out there, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have an agent, then you can't get signed.
Or a coach.
Or a coach.
Or a
Absolutely.
fitness trainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a nutritionist.
That's right. Can't get signed. So
Right.
that's what we provide for you.
Absolutely.
We're that agent who preps you and gets you ready so you can get to that next level.
Absolutely.
And then a referral system,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because I work with a lot of, in my business, a lot of my referrals come from community-based organizations. Vermont Slauson, they refer when they're trying to get someone ready, bank loan.
Absolutely.
I work with Crenshaw Chamber. I work with another organization for the businesses on Crenshaw and helping them get on their feet.
Definitely.
Teaching them how to use QuickBooks. That's one of the things that I do, is to go in and train
Okay.
QuickBooks employers and their employees how
Definitely.
to use the product or any accounting software product. So there's something.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That sounds good. I like that.
Absolutely.
I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
so
love
we will definitely work together, and we'd like to get down in the Inland Empire.
Yes.
Do you know Jerry Green?
I do. Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Everybody,
I
everybody
know
knows
Jerry real well.
And Peppy Jackson?
As a matter of fact, I spoke with Peppy Jackson yesterday. I'm going to be teaching some workshops for him on behalf of the California Hispanic Chambers of
Oh, are
Commerce,
you?
Nice.
and also for the EDGE program.
Oh, okay,
So,
cool.
Yeah, Pepe's a good guy.
Absolutely.
Very good guy,
Absolutely.
and I want to help him to grow his business as well. As a matter of fact, he's using Small Biz Pro too.
Yeah.
That's
you
right.
should be using Small Biz
Absolutely.
Pro. I'll gift you. I'll give you a complimentary.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that actually would be great for some of your clients,
Yes.
so that you don't
Yes.
have to go searching for their
Absolutely.
documentation.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So
Exactly.
when they factor, is it a time frame or a time period?
Well, they can choose. That's one of the things too. They don't have to factor all their invoices. They can look at it. Well, first thing is the factor is going to decide which ones they feel are ones that they're willing to advance money on.
Yeah.
And maybe they're doing business with one company that they feel that they're not going to survive. So they may not want to advance on that one.
Oh, well, that's a
So-
nice little thing to know.
Absolutely. So that helps, obviously. But yeah, no, it really just comes down to when they're going to get paid.
Right.
So they'll do the work to advance them. That's part of the agreement that they lay out between the factor and them,
Yeah.
them, the company. And then that will, they'll get a redirect assignment where the factor will get that payment directly from the actual company they're doing the work
Oh,
for.
wow.
Okay.
So that's why, again, it's really good because they don't have to chase the money down anymore.
We could go places with this.
Absolutely.
We could approach Metro. We can approach all of these contract providers. We can approach the prime contractors like Turner,
Absolutely.
Hansel Phelps, all of those.
Absolutely. And this is international too.
Yes.
So if they're
Okay.
doing business internationally, it can be a cheaper option than getting a standby or a letter of credit.
Because most of the times when these primes are making a decision about awarding a contract to a subcontractor, revenues in cash, leveraging cash is one of the biggest considerations.
Absolutely.
So if they know there's a source like yours that they can tap into, that will make it much easier for them to give the award to
Definitely.
the subcontractor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, because there's a bridge.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yes.
they know that that you're going to be prepared. You're not going to be hounding them for the
Yeah,
money
yeah.
because you have something in place.
Definitely.
This is
while you're
great.
waiting for
This
the
is great.
contract.
I
So
like
that's
that.
great. And to be reputable because we know in some cases that's not been the case, and so sometimes they have fact. I think Vermont Slauson had someone talk about factoring at one point, but not too often have it anyone else that I know.
Right.
Yeah. And what a lot of business owners don't know is a lot of lenders will refer their client to me.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to lose those deposits.
Exactly.
You know, if
Exactly.
XYZ Bank
Yes.
knows they can't do the deal,
Yes.
they'd rather have me set up financing for them than lose it to
That's
XYZ.
great. That's
Bank.
great. I love that. Well, we're definitely going to be working together, you and
Absolutely.
Crystal.
Yes,
we're,
for sure.
We're going to be a tight knit
Absolutely.
because we can prep our members or our participants, send them over to you.
Absolutely.
And actually, for our next certification class, we need to make sure he comes
Yes,
in because
yes.
that's what we're talking when we get to the all aspects of it,
Yes.
but really what it really looks like.
Yes.
And so in reality, we all know that there's a 60 to 90 to 120 days we
Yes.
get paid.
Exactly.
And so that first time out, that could be a little scary.
Absolutely.
And you got employees to pay or subcontractors to pay.
Yeah. And employees don't work as well when they don't think their check is coming.
Nah, they really, really don't.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
No one works real well when that first time you tell them, y'all, can you wait till Monday?
Plus, it's illegal not to pay
Right,
the
it
employees.
is illegal, but can you wait till Monday? I'll get you a check on Monday.
Absolutely.
Or they give them a post-dated check.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
Absolutely.
So we definitely want to thank you. We wish we could, continue have you here on the show for all 3 hours, the 2 hours of it. But we have to, make way for our next guest. So,
Definitely.
Is there any parting words you want to share with our audience?
No, you everyone that's listening and tuning in, you're in good hands.
Thank you.
I've known of both of you for quite some time.
Yeah.
I've known Gilbert a little bit longer through some associations,
Yeah.
but you're really in good hands. Would love to help you in any way possible, and thank you to both of you.
Not a
Okay,
problem.
well, we look forward to
Well, we're
working
definitely
together.
going to work together. And that video that you're working on, that promotional video, once you get it done, send us a copy so we
Absolutely.
can do our little promotion.
And,
for
and
you.
we'll have you back when your book. When is your book is going to be published?
I'm looking at late summer.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm
So we'll
through-
have you back to talk about your book.
And yes, and it's basically just talking about things that they wouldn't know about
Yeah.
what we're looking at in
Yeah.
a lot of these forms.
Right,
Oh, that's
which is going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
It's going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's because that's it. It's having the rules to the game.
Yeah.
Gotta
so
know.
that you know how
Yeah.
to get. At least you know how it's supposed to be played.
Absolutely.
Now they may change the rule
Yeah.
on you, but at
Yeah.
least you're going in with some kind of knowledge.
The
right?
rules of engagement.
Engagement, right? Exactly.
Absolutely.
They probably gonna change it on you,
Yeah.
but at least you have a basis.
For now. For now.
So it's been so wonderful to have you on the show, and we'll have you back when your book comes out.
Definitely.
And it's called the.
Small business loans made simple.
So we'll be prepping people in the third quarter.
Yep.
Third quarter.
Get them ready for
That's
your
what
book
we're
to come
talking
out.
about.
How about
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking about. And for those of you who are just tuning in, you're listening to Mr. Ambrosia Blackwell from Southern California Factors, and he's been amazing. He's an amazing friend of the show, and he's got some great tips you don't hear about every day that can help you to leverage and access your funds much faster.
Okay.
So thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Mr.
thank you.
Blackwell.
Yep. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And again, we'll give you a clip of this show, a link of this show, so you can do your promotion and marketing with it. And you're free to come back anytime.
Yeah, anytime. Any way I could be a help.
Glad to have you.
Thanks for being on the Business Zone.
Okay.
So
we're going to have a quick break, and then we'll switch over for our next guest.
Definitely.
And we'll be back in a second, guys.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California's small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses. And with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make it.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Our phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. Now, Crystal, we've been having fun here in the studio today.
We absolutely have. So earlier it was about financial literacy and money and lending, and now we're going to do small business. And this young lady who is a fashion designer, but is a fashion designer with a twist.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because it's got a social conscious edge to it. And it's so funny because I was talking to somebody recently, and it seems that our millennials are more geared to creating businesses that have a social conscious cause attached to it.
That's the trend.
As opposed to those of us that are baby boomers.
That's a trend.
So that's a wonderful trend because it means you're empathetic and caring. Now I'm going to have to ask you how you pronounce your name.
Yes, it's pronounced Ngozika, OKK.
Okay, so she is a marketing consultant turned socially conscious fashion designer, now based in Los Angeles. And after 11 years of print modeling, she began designing for her clothing label, Exquisite Designs by
Ngozika,
while working on a bachelor's degree in business marketing shortly after completing school and establishing herself as a multicultural marketing and consultant and young designer. She returned to school and earned her master's degree in business management. So we have a little clip of a fashion week. This is African attire. I think I found it on line.
Oh, from Africa Fashion Week. That was actually a really nice designer. I think her line was Midget Giraffe. I think it was very, very nice. That collection that I did at that show was, I think, spring of 17.
Okay.
Yes, spring 2017. It was received really well, so I'm happy about that.
So you designed the outfits on this show, or?
Yeah, I showed a collection in that show. Actually, I think I went right after that designer that was featured.
Oh, wow.
And so now after Black Panther, obviously there is a real movement of women that, because when I came out, I wanted to throw all my Western wear away and go out and buy all my African wear.
Absolutely.
And this morning, and it's so funny how last night we were talking about cash flow, and that was Ambro. And then this morning, one of my friends on Facebook, she just got her DNA back. And so it gave her the breakdown of what her ancestry is.
Oh, wow.
And so in it, she was, I think, some percentage from Cameroon. So she went looking for clothing that was depicted of that culture, or those of that culture. So I thought that was funny. So I told her that you were going to be on the show. She goes, "Where do I find that?" I said, "Well, I have a designer coming on."
And that's so funny that you mentioned it. I've gotten so many requests for Ankara clothing since the movie premiered, even before the premiere, because everyone wanted to take part and really dress for it. And I just thought it was awesome that people are really, really celebrating what's going on.
Their culture.
Absolutely. And trying to connect. and trying to find ways to be closer to where they come from. I think that's awesome, particularly for the young kids. Like I saw a lot of teenagers, a lot of college students. I thought that was awesome. Because that's where it should start.
It should start. So you're from Nigeria?
Well, I am Nigerian. I was raised here in the States.
Okay, so your parents?
Yes, my dad is Nigerian. My mom is from the States. So they met here in college and, got married a few years later.
Okay, so have you gone back to Nigeria?
We have when I was very, very young. So we definitely have a trip coming up this year. And I think actually a few of my cousins in Nigeria are watching right now. So hi, guys.
Oh, that's cool. And we'll blast it out so make sure that they can see it in its full entirety.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Well, just so they know, the Business Zone helps to make entrepreneurs much better, elevate them to the next level. So that's what we're here to do for you.
Yes.
So you were modeling, but you obviously had a desire.
Yes. So I started out doing print modeling, and somewhere in there I kind of got the fashion bug to design. Okay. I've always been a rather creative person, so I just kind of figured, why don't I just see what I can do with design, but then also still wanting to have my own business and have multiple businesses, actually. Okay. I figured I'll go ahead and go to school for business, but just kind of try my hand at design. And it wasn't until I actually modeled for a designer that actually became a friend and mentor to me. And she pretty much one day just picked up the phone and said, hey, so are you still interested in designing? And I said, yeah. She said, well, great. I have a show next month. That's where you're going to debut. That was in 2009, and the rest is history.
Wow. What a way to get started.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
See, and this is what we talk about on this show all the time. Opportunities come when you least expect it.
Absolutely.
That's why we've always got to be ready. Got to be ready, because if you weren't ready, they said next month. If you weren't ready, some fashion companies, it takes them years to get ready.
For sure. I had already had, I started designing back in 2007. Actually started out with handbags and duffel bags and clutch purses. Okay. And then I sort of taught myself how to make clothing from there. And this is all, sitting on my dorm room floor, in college. So it was a very much a organic process how I started. And like I said, while in school for business. And I had a house full of clothing by the time she and I spoke. And she said, okay, next month, let's do it.
So you just had to pull the clothes together. Because you'd already being preparation.
Being prepared.
To meet opportunity, right?
That's so important. That's so important. It's one thing to say you want to do something or another, but it's another thing to actually work toward what that is you want to do, particularly for small business owners. I mean, we see that every day. Small business owners, they have these amazing opportunities at their feet, but they aren't necessarily prepared to take advantage of the opportunities when they, come across. Right. So I think that's one thing, preparedness is what we really, really should stress.
I love the look of the last name, Okeke.
Okay, yes.
See, this is so amazing, though.
Thank you.
The Okeke design. You see what I'm saying? I love it. Look at that.
It's beautiful. I know when I met her at an awards ceremony for Reverend Murray at the BBA. And actually one of your friends.
Yes.
Because I walked in with this lady who had this beautiful African headdress on, and it was all sparkly and Guadalupe, and she does. She teaches samba, right? And so we were talking about Black Panther on the way in, and I said, I'm going to throw out all my questions. She goes, I have the designer, and she went looking for you, and that's how I met her.
And she found me.
And she found you, and she was there, which was a wonderful program for Dr. Reverend Chip Murray.
It was really nice.
Yeah. Do you know him?
No, I actually met them through Guadalupe, actually.
Oh, okay.
She does programs with them. She's actually performed and had her team perform at a few of the events they've held. Okay. And so I kind of was ushered in by her and met everyone. It was a really nice event.
Yeah, it was a very nice
So that video that we just saw, that's designed by you?
That was from African Fashion Week, LA. Right. And that actually was another designer. I think my collection went right after her line. Okay. But everything that I did show that night, yes, it was all
But yours wasn't on this video.
Yeah, she has
on that video. I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I would love for us to show it again, just so our audience can see.
Yeah, that designer was amazing as well.
So what's your line? I know you do have some African, because I saw it on your website, and I've seen some of your Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah, so you guys can find her on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
And your website.
Yes, it's all going now. Thank you to my interns. I am not the tech person. Social media is not my
which is
forte.
fine. Which is fine. As small businesses, we need to know our space.
Absolutely.
And we operate within that space.
That is so important.
Yeah, we don't want to do what we really don't have the expertise to do.
I totally agree. So to the students, the interns that I have, thank you guys so much because they are literally keeping it alive. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. So.
Which is very important in the fashion world. So what is your line? What type of clothes do you create?
So I typically design contemporary clothing for women's clothing and handbags, but now we're moving toward menswear as well. And also plus size pieces coming soon, which I'm very excited about. I think that is a really underrepresented market.
It is.
You know, going back to my corporate America days, being a marketer, you cannot help but to realize how underrepresented that market is right now. Even still, although America, the average size now is like a 12 or 14 here for women's wear. So that's to me still really surprising. So. Plus size coming soon.
I remember my niece. My niece is a little tiny thing, and I think she weighed about this time. She just came from Egypt. I want to say she was somewhere like a 6 or a 7. I thought she was too skinny. And so she was thinking she wanted to go model, right? And I go in there, says, you'll be a plus size model. It's like, oh, come on, get out of here. Because if you have to get smaller than this, you are going to disappear.
They said she's a plus size?
Yeah, she was like size 8. And she was a plus size model. Yeah. So it's somewhere between 8 and 10 now. You're a plus size.
That's... For sure.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I think I, at this size, would be considered a plus size model in the industry.
Is crazy.
Is that incredible? That's ridiculous.
Sample sizes, I think right now range still from a 0 to a 4. That's the typical
when I go down to the Fashion Institute, to their store, that's basically what's sample. And then there's a big sale I go to once a year at the California Mart.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So a lot of the sizes
are samples.
So
like this big.
Yeah, just for my finger size people. They need to eat. So as a child, did you want to be a fashion designer?
As a child, I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to be a stockbroker, a singer, a designer, a model, a doctor. What else? A neurosurgeon.
So you settled on the designer.
Right. So I think I somewhere kind of...
Was the designer one of those in your basket?
It wasn't. It was something creative. I knew that it was something in that realm. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. But I know one thing was for certain, that it would have something to do with me owning a business or owning multiple businesses.
Right.
Okay.
I knew something like that was in there. So
Are your parents entrepreneurial?
Yeah, my dad. He's always been very, very entrepreneurial. Him and my mom actually encouraged all of their children to, of course, schooling. Now, we're still African.
Let's get it straight.
That's primary.
So that's for that lady with the tree. We go to school.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it's like, okay, you go to school. Let's get that established. But also do what it is you want to do, what makes you happy. Even now, my dad still says that... if designing is what you want to do, you're obviously, it's been over a decade now, so it's, realize I'm pretty serious about it. It moved me out here to LA, but definitely do whatever you want to do as far as school, but what makes you happy in the end. So, and they pretty much encourage all of us like that. And even my younger brother and sister now, they're just out of undergrad. My little brother, he's graduating in May. So proud of him. And,
how many siblings do you have?
It's 4 of us.
Right.
My younger sister, she just graduated last year with her first degree. My little brother, he gets out this year, and so now they're kind of getting into what they really want to do. But again, like I said, we're African, so it's like something.
Are you the eldest?
No, I have an older sister.
So you're the second.
I'm the second, and she is a nurse like my mom.
Do you do research? Do you like to do research?
I do.
Okay, I'd like you to do some research on this, because
for sure,
I've done this in graduate school. People, they claim, right, that firstborns are supposed to be leaders, natural born leaders.
Okay.
But we've done some research in graduate school to show that the second-born usually emerge the leaders in the family. I'm a second-born.
Gotcha.
You are too.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if
I'm firstborn.
You're firstborn. See?
Well, but I'll tell you what it is because as the firstborn, you have a certain place in the family, a hierarchy, right? And the second born or the middle child is most of the time, they got to fight. So they usually are leaders just because they're fighting up against. My sister thought that, I don't know, that I was the favorite, which I wasn't. But I was not the child that created any rifts in the family. I was very studious and so forth, so never created any problems. So I didn't blaze any trails for her. So when she came through, she got hit with everything because she was the one that was the most stubborn. I was very pliable. Right. I was very pliable. My mom said, go do that. Okay, no problem, Mom. And then the youngest one, that's different. That's their last baby, and that one is treated.
And they get away with everything.
Yeah, see?
the second born, though, we emerge leaders because the firstborn isn't taking on that reign. They are slipping up a little bit. I don't know if it's the same in your family, but in my family, my older brother, he wasn't carrying on that reign. So I emerge that leader. And it's usually that way. And it's amazing because the study is correct. We found that out, that it's really... So whenever you have a family structure, family unit, and the firstborn isn't carrying the slack, you will also always see someone else emerge leader. And not only does that happen in the family, it also happens in groups. And I'm gonna prove it to you. Okay. You see the show, what they call that, on Channel 2, Survivor, right?
Where they go to the wilderness. And yes.
You notice whenever that group comes along, the first episode, somebody emerges leader.
But there's always a leader of the pack.
That person who emerges leader first is going to get killed. It's going to get killed because everybody else is going to go, we didn't vote you leader. How come you emerge leader? Right. What makes you think we want you to be leader? And then they'll kill him or her. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So just a little tip. When you're in group settings, and this usually happens when you get thrown in it. It could be a crash, a plane crash or whatever, and people have to survive, and somebody's going to emerge leader.
But if they weren't chosen by the
if you weren't
pack,
chosen, so the key to that is just sit back, relax, let whomever want to emerge leader go, because once they kill that person,
now you can step up.
Then you can step up, and you will know how to deal with them, because now you're going to ask permission. You can ask questions. You're not going to say, well, you need to do this, and you need to, because they're not going to listen to you. Right. Because you've already seen that in the first guy who got killed.
So now you can look at that another way. You can look at the second one as looking to sabotage the first one so that they can rise to the top.
That's true, too. But that's just a little pointer to throw out there. That's how it works.
That makes sense.
It's amazing.
So I didn't know there was an African Fashion Week in
African Fashion Week LA.
And when does it happen? Because I want to be there next year.
Normally in October.
So it's coming up.
You got some time.
Come check it out.
I would really nice. To see that.
I think it's now a 4 or 5 day event, and they have different fashion shows. They have a pop-up shop. They have a panel, which I spoke on the panel when I was there, to other entrepreneurs, specifically designers that were trying to get over those first humps in starting off as an independent designer.
I hear that terminology a lot, pop-up shop. What's a pop-up shop?
So it's like a... when you rent out a space.
Like a kiosk? Is it like a kiosk or no?
No, it's sort of like when you rent out a space and you get designers or artists together, and you guys also all set up like a booth there and sell your wares or your goods.
I went to a party and I went to this restaurant and I went, wow, this is nice. Where this restaurant been? It was a pop-up.
A pop-up
so
restaurant.
It's downtown, and there's a lot of space that is rented out to restaurants, and you just pop up and you're in business for that day and then that weekend or whatever, and then you're gone.
Because I hear that phrase a lot.
Yeah, that's a millennial term.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm going, pop-up shop? Where? What?
Yeah, that's it. It just pops up and then it shuts back down. And then it's kind of like a movie studio. It's kind of like the cast comes in and then the cast moves back out.
Oh, that's good to know.
So what are some of the challenges of a brand new, because, the new shows, shows that have been around a long time, Project Runway and all of those shows, what are some of the challenges once you get outside of your schooling to get a line and get your designs? And
I was first and foremost the capital.
Okay.
And so that's really good to have shows like this and have you guys and the first guest that was here talk about the type of funding that artists and really designers need to have.
Yeah.
Because one thing, it's different if you're a singer or if you're a dancer or a rapper. You know, your capital is you. That's
Yeah.
it. You take your talent wherever you need to go.
Yeah.
But when you're a designer, you have to, it's so much overhead. You have to buy the material. If you sew, you actually have to, you know, spend time to sew and to make the garment and then take it out and try to sell. And so you have to have money to do that.
And it has a lot to do with your artistic abilities too, right?
Absolutely. And you obviously have to have the talent to do it.
Yeah.
But I think that is the largest issue that independent designers face because you need to have certain tools up front, whether it's sewing machines, the notions, all of that stuff is, you know, necessary. So that would be the biggest thing. I mean, even now I have friends of mine that, you know, have been designing for just as long as I have, but they haven't had a product order from a large, you know, retailer like a Forever 21, or they haven't sold a design to like a BCBG or a BB. And so they're still, you know, in the infancy stage, although they have been designing for quite some time. And so that is truly an issue that I think affects a lot of artists, because if you are just an artist, you don't have that other part that you need to have for the business end of it. And so that is in some aspects where I am glad that, okay, I went to business school, kind of saw the inner workings of how to run a business, period. Not even just a fashion or a clothing line. And so that is one of the things that I think set me apart and has helped a lot in navigating through this industry, because fashion is so competitive, especially nowadays when you have things like fast fashion. You have the Forever 21s where you can buy a top or a dress for $5, chunk it out, go do it again next week. You know, because people are so competitive now with fashion, and because fashion is so readily accessible at such a low cost, it's even more of a challenge for designers to get that capital and to know what to do with it once they get it. Again, this is why a show like this and you guys are so important, to let these people know how to do what they need to do, and to know where to start, really.
So have you sold your line to any?
No, actually, I'm pitching right now. Fingers crossed.
All right.
So the way that works is you can either, as a designer, white label a design. So that's like designing something, and then you can sell it to a company, and they put their label in it.
Or
absolutely,
Nordstrom.
And then they put their label in it, or you know, however they want to do.
How do you feel about that?
You know, I think, especially in a city like LA, because it is so competitive, because there is a fashion designer on every block. I have seen a lot of designers get the capital they need to make their businesses work by white labeling. And if you're an artist, you're a creator, you think of designs literally all day, every day anyway. So I feel like if you need to sell a design or sell a concept to a larger retailer, then that's perfectly fine, because you'll probably think of another design tomorrow.
Right. And then I've actually seen at Macy's, it says made specifically for Macy's, or same thing at JCPenney's. I've seen that as well. There's a young lady that has been on the show, and she has a boutique out in Culver City. It's called All That and More, and she actually has a couture back room. So you might want to reach out to her. She does a lot of stuff on that's Candace, and she's not online today, I don't think. Candace, are you there? Because usually she is there, and so she has a network of about 25 designers.
Oh wow!
And then some the jewelry designers, they actually highlight, and then they are working on the day that you're highlighting their pieces, and then that way they can reach out. And she's an amazing marketer. She does some awesome stuff, so you might want to reach out to her. It's All That and More Boutique, and it's on Overland and Jefferson in Culver City. Yeah, so it's back in the corner.
I feel like I may have passed by that 100 times.
You probably have. So you might want to go in. She has some great pieces, very unique clothing. So she has kind of sometimes one of a kind, but she has a back room that is her couture room.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's also another challenge that designers face, knowing where to put their clothing. I think it's one thing for sure you have to know your customer anyway. And I found that that's a thing that a lot of young designers struggle with, finding their customer. You know, they don't know if their demographic is a 50-something mom, or if it's like a 20-year-old college kid, or if it's, so knowing your audience and then focusing on boutiques that, carry that type of clothing. Right. So that's another thing, finding somewhere to put your pieces.
Now, this brings me to my next question, because you're an MBA, and I'm sure within the MBA program, you have learned that clothing and food products are the most difficult to market, because the space is owned by the big dogs. They own that. Right. And it's difficult for you to get a piece of that. Now, what made you, knowing that, what made you still decide to venture into that space?
Two things. It was something that I knew I needed to do because of the cause that's attached to my brand. So we give a portion of all revenue to charities that work with survivors of sexual assault and domestic abuse. So I definitely wanted to find a way to use my own creativity to help causes that are very dear to me. So I knew that was one way for sure. But then also, because I find that in this climate, or at least within the last 10 to 15 years or so, people are more interested in the story behind the brand, the person, So I think as long as you have a good story and you just have a good presence, people will be okay with buying into that. And so I think that's how some companies, especially in fashion, you see some thrive and others not so much, because people have their story out there. They have their brand out there. People can recognize it and they can relate. And so I think that was one.
I love your response. I don't like it. I love it. And the reason I love it is that's how businesses get differentiated in the marketplace today. You got to have a story. And many businesses, they don't know how to tell that story. So with you telling the story just the way you just did it, that's amazing. It's amazing.
That's it. Because people buy into
people buy you.
And actually in the fashion industry, with all the reality shows that's around fashion designers and getting their product, that's really what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
And you connect. What's the young man, Christopher, that won the first episode of
Fashion Runway?
Fashion Runway. And
Project
Runway. It was a number of them that became major designers after they won. But it was their story that you were connecting with. And so it's very, very important for you to, because it makes you real. Right. You're not just a conglomerate with a logo.
You just want to fit in a space.
You feel even right now with Facebook, the people that absolutely, as one man was saying, a guy was on the news the other day, he was talking about Zuckerberg. He's like, Zuck, because he felt like he knew his story, right? So he felt real close to Zuck. And he's like, I'm not ready to give up on Zuck yet, even though this is going on and 80 million people have been compromised. But I know he's going to fix this because he knows his story.
He's obviously tied into that brand. And I think that's where being a marketer comes in at too. If you can tell a compelling story and have people like join in and want to be a part of that movement as well, I feel like that's in this era gold.
And it's very, very important, especially in a very competitive place like California. Los Angeles is very competitive, and New York is like, off the chain competition in the fashion industry. So you have to tell something and you have to do a lot of stuff that makes you different than everybody else out there.
And then too, I think people now with the constant connectivity with social media, you have Facebook and Instagram and now Snapchat. I don't even know how to use that, but and so now people feel some sense of having to. They have to know what you're doing behind the scenes. They want those behind the scenes videos and photos, and so it's a sort of societal pressure as well for business owners, small and large, to kind of let people in on what goes on the back end. And then for me, I'm like, well, why would people even want to see that? Like, why would they want to see me in my sweatsuit, styling a model?
Some people want to know the story.
But you have a number of videos on YouTube.
For sure.
That they were just a little long for my clip, and I didn't have time enough to clip them. But I saw a number of videos. There was one year with a young lady that was, you introduced both the photographer and the young lady, and it looks like you're downtown somewhere.
Yes, probably on the roof.
On the roof, and so, and you were saying, I got to take a nap. I need a nap. So, but it's you, right? So
Yes.
you really
And they
get
can
the
relate
feel.
to that.
Yeah,
Right.
they can relate to who
Right.
she is as the designer. Now I'll be compelled to go look for your
Absolutely.
design.
Right.
Because
Because people can, they buy into that. It was like, oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
you stay up all night sewing
Right,
too?
right,
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
I do.
Right,
or like,
right.
oh my gosh, you're sleeping. You take naps?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I do.
I'm real.
yeah, right.
I'm real.
So it's people they like that type of thing.
Yeah, that's
So look, the first part of our show was about funding and accessing and leveraging funding. Now, how do you tie your product and your offering into the level of funding that you need to get this to market? I mean, do you already have a source that you go to, or would the Southern California factor be consideration or a source for you?
I'm definitely going to get with Southern California before
Yeah.
I leave this
Yeah.
place today.
Definitely.
Especially now at the stage in the business that I'm at, being in a place now to pitch designs and pitch collections to
Yeah.
very large retailers.
Yeah.
If I get a PO or for those a product order
Yeah.
for 100,000 piece,
Yeah.
order,
Yeah.
and the terms are net 90.
You're going to need some funds.
It's like, you have to pay the people
Yeah,
to sew it.
that's
So
right.
it's
That's
like
right.
that type of thing, I think, again, is why it's so useful for
Right.
panels like this, because just kind of building everything from the ground
Right.
and just working when I was still in corporate America, working and taking my check and splitting it down the middle and using half to put toward the brand and
Yeah.
then using the other half to pay
To run
bills.
the household.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like that type of funding that it's so necessary.
And the beauty
Yeah.
about it is you can have it available. You may not use it yet.
Right.
It's going to be there available for
Right.
you, so when you need it, you can access it.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of it.
For sure, having the option.
Oh, yeah.
When you do get those orders, just knowing where you're going to get the money from is a nice,
Oh,
nice
yeah.
feeling.
right. So, and to know if you can even be part of a fashion
Absolutely.
week, right? That you got the resources to make that happen.
For sure, to even produce a single collection,
Right.
a lot
Right,
of times
exactly.
is it can be hard for designers just starting out.
And how much to create a simple collection? How much it ballpark dollar amount?
The one that I showed spring 2017, the one that I showed in Africa Fashion Week, that was by far the most expensive collection I've ever produced in this past 11 years or so. It was a 20-piece collection, and it took me maybe $9,000 or $10,000. Just to do the samples, and that is not a huge sum of money.
Right.
But if you're just starting out,
That's
that
a
is
huge
an
sum of-
astronomical amount.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, for sure, I think even to produce a collection,
Right.
some sort of funding or knowledge of where to get the funding, knowing where to tap into those resources is paramount.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yes.
On this show, we like to give complimentary gifts to our guests. So we're going to gift you a complimentary copy of Small Biz Pro.
Oh wow!
Our business management and compliance system that will help you to better manage your business. So
I receive it.
we will gift that to you.
Thank you so
Chris,
much.
on behalf of Crystal and I and the Business Zone, we will gift that to you.
And
the
I
knowledge
want, and I'm going to give you the information so you can meet with Candace.
Yes,
And then I have another friend. She plays tennis with me. She has a company called District2.company, and she actually has a software that connects manufacturers to designers.
Very
And
good.
she's downtown. Her name is Cassie Betts, and she
Oh my
also
gosh.
was in the fashion industry. So I want to make sure you guys connect, because she realized
Yes.
that there was no main source of who all the suppliers were and who all the
Right.
manufacturers were for the designers. And so she created a software tool. She's a techie, and,
Gotcha.
and she does coding and all that for young girls.
Yeah.
And so this is her software project.
That is
program. And so
amazing.
she's downtown, so you guys need to meet.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
so much.
Well, we definitely want to thank you for being on the
Thank you
Business
guys for
Zone.
having
It's
me.
been great. And, before you depart,
Yes.
I'd like you to share your contact information with our audience.
Absolutely. So I think the most popular thing right now is our Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at Ngozika OKK. It's spelled Ngozika OKEKE. Again, that is Ngozika OKEKE. And the same for the website, www.ngozikaokeke.com. And basically, if you Google us, you can find everything else from there.
Phone number?
Phone number, yes. Oh my gosh, we just switched it. 424-292-4929. 424-292-4929. And also email info@ngozikaokk.com. Get to us.
And then when we edit, after I edit the clip, then I'll put it on all that information in the description box.
Perfect.
And then I'll send it over to you.
Perfect.
And then we're going to do our blasting of it so it can get out there so people can see you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being on the Business Zone. This is great.
Thank you. Well, that 2 hours went by
I
very fast.
Unbelievable.
And we are now at the top of the hour. We want everyone to thank our guests. You guys great. And that was a great way to kick off National Black Business Month.
Small
two
business,
very
Black
amazing business owners in our community, and we want you guys to reach out to them. And she's got some African clothes for those of you that's throwing out all your Western clothes, and then she's got some other great pieces as well.
And I just love saying this name, Okeke.
Okay. Yes, very exotic name. It's very pretty. She's from Nigeria. Her parents are from Nigeria. One of her parents, she's not worshiping any trees, lady.
That is so beyond.
Very modernized country.
Yeah, anything that I've ever. That was so random to me.
Yeah, it is random. That was a random thought. But see us on Tuesday at the Recycling Black Dollars Breakfast Mixer at 8 o'clock at Denny's on Crenshaw and Coliseum. Come out. I think we have Wendy Gladney that's coming out to speak to us.
And we want to thank our first guest, Mr. Ambro Blackwell from Southern California Factors. He's been tremendous. And we're going to be hearing a lot more from him on this show for small businesses, helping you to leverage your financial resources.
And in the Business Zone way, we got 2 clients. They're about to network and connect and do some business together.
Talking about.
So recycling those dollars amongst people that look like you, helping each other out. That's what we do. So we're going to bid you guys all a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next Friday at 3 o'clock.
We're out.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan? Just review the pages of my marketing plan. Got my capability statement, yes, I'm ready to go. Got my balance sheet, my P&L, my statement of cash flow. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah.